Did you know you can rent a gaming PC for $59? I've never heard of this. That sounds like a good deal. Well, maybe not. Let's talk about it. Here we are. So, of course, you know all about the Gamers Nexus NZXT scam thing video where he's exposed scam type tactics of NZXT, and it's the story on the internet at the moment, which is right here. And we'll just leave that up, no sound. And yeah, everybody has an opinion here. Now, I've seen a lot of these videos, but I usually don't react to videos like that because everybody else does. And what do I know anyway, right? But this one kind of, I want to try and figure it out, if that makes sense. I want to find out what were they thinking. I want to look at it from a different perspective. The thing is, I did not watch the whole video. I just skimmed through it. It's an hour long. It's really hard to sit there for an hour and just watch the entire thing. It just goes on and on. So I'm going to try and I'm going to look at this from the perspective of the average person, because I'm an average person, right? Something like that. So here's the idea. So let's go to, where is it? Hopefully they didn't take it down. Gaming PC. Oh, there it is. NZXT FLEX. So I'm going to look at it as if I was interested in this. So I would get the cheapest one. So there we go. $59 a month. It is $769 to buy, or I can rent it for $59 a month. Now, whether or not that's a good deal, that's a different story, but I just wanted to see what it's like, because there was so much complaining in the other video, we didn't actually get to see the whole process. So before we get started, a little bit about me. I was a car finance manager at a car dealer for several years. I have written hundreds, if not thousands, of financing contracts, rental agreements, things of that nature. I know about fine print and creative wording in the terms and conditions. So I want to see, I mean, we all saw, Steve did a good job of all that, so that's fine, but I want to see it from my eyes. So $59 a month, you can rent this PC, or you can borrow it, is what I would say. And I'm just trying to figure out why. See, I thought they were more expensive, but I picked on the cheapest one. See, why would you borrow a computer? I mean, if I went to your house and I said, hey, can I borrow your computer for 3 months? You would probably say no, right? I'll give it back to you, I promise. So if you buy it at $769, or you can finance it here for $70 a month. So why wouldn't you just do that? It's $59 a month to borrow it. And it's $70 a month to buy it. So what's the... See? Who? Oh my God. Who borrows a computer? I don't know. I mean, so I clicked on this earlier. Subscribe. And I don't think anybody's buying the cheapest one or renting the cheapest one. They're probably getting this one, which has a 4070. This is probably your typical customer right here, because this one is so cheap you could just buy it outright. But we'll get to the terms and conditions later on. I'm curious to see who at this company decided that this was a good idea. So you're going to give somebody a computer that's basically $1,000 after shipping and tax to someone for $59 a month with no credit check. It says you just need a checking account. It's not rent to own. You're paying for a lifetime warranty because, you're going to use this computer for the rest of your life, apparently. You'll never pay for it. But I don't know, who's the honcho in the company that said this is a good idea. Now, I assume that they think that you'll just keep paying the monthly fee and you'll never send it back. And there will be a time period where you have surpassed the cost of the computer. And now they're just profiting from the fact that you won't send it back and you'll have to keep paying the fee. That's how that works. That's how car financing works. If you notice a car when you finance it, generally speaking, you're paying way more than the car is worth. Way more. And I know this because I wrote the contracts. If you added up the cost of all the payments of a 4-year loan on a car with all the interest and you never paid extra, some people pay twice as much as the car is worth. And they know that. Some people claim they don't know. They say, oh, well, you didn't tell me that. I mean, it's in the contract. Like we go over the terms, and I always would suggest to them, make extra payments, pay it off as quickly as possible. But I met several people in the car industry, customers, who brought in their car that they had been paying on for years, and it still wasn't paid off. And I would ask them, I would say, hey, how come you're paying on this car still? It's been years and it's still not your car. And they said, well, we didn't know. We just made the payments. They didn't know that they could pay it off early. Nobody explained that to them. Or that's what they claim. So, I mean, people, when they buy cars, they really don't want to hear you talking very much. They just want to sign the contract and leave. And most people never read the fine print. And I tried to point it out to them, and they just said, where do I sign? That's typical consumer behavior. Then they get mad later, and then they make a video that says it's a scam. So, I'm surprised that there's no credit check here. There's no down payment. There's no deposit. You just pay $59 a month. You pay $50 shipping. So if you go here, subscribe, put in your phone number. There's your monthly payment. There's the shipping fee. I guess there's tax after. How can you charge tax on a monthly payment? What? Powered by Fragile. Fragile computer. Fragile NZXT. But anyway, the deal is powered by Fragile. It's not NZXT. The company, I'm not sure if they own this company or they're partnered with them or something. Somehow, NZXT. Now, there is something interesting here. if they're making a deal with Fragile, I wonder if on the back end, Fragile actually buys the computer. Because, let me show you this. This is how financing works with cars. So if you finance this computer with a firm will pay NZXT a certain amount, and then you pay a firm back. So you're not financing it from NZXT, if that makes sense. It's a car thing. So when we finance a car, the finance company would give us a check for the car. There would be a fee attached to that, and then we're done. We're not dealing with any of the financing. All the financing is between the buyer and that company. We don't have anything to do with that. That's why it was odd when people would get mad at us. Like, we didn't make the loan. It's with that company. You need to call them. So I wonder now, I just discovered this right now. I wonder if Fragile pays them for the computer. And then you're dealing with Fragile from that point on. Check your purchasing power. Because that would make sense if NZXT said, well, we can sell a bunch of computers and we'll let them deal with it. So that's a possibility. We don't know. So, okay. So anyway. So I tried to figure out who would actually do this. And pretty much nobody, because I looked at YouTube for the last day. I can't find anyone that actually rented this. Or maybe they did and I can't find it. So I'm not sure who are the people are getting scammed, because nobody's posted a video that said, hey, I got scammed. But let's think about who would rent a PC. And I thought of two situations. Number one, you're in college and you live at the dorm, and then you go home for the summer. And you want a gaming PC, or maybe you have one at home, at the dorm, but you don't want to bring it with you. So you're home for 3 months, 2 months, whatever, and you want to play games. So you can borrow this PC for $60 a month. And then when you're done and you go back to school, you send it back. That's a potential customer, right? It's short term, not long term. You're not going to pay $59 a month for 2 years and never own the computer. Usually. Some people might, maybe, I don't know. I still can't find a situation where you would just keep paying for it forever, because all of the payments don't go towards the balance of the computer. Whenever you want to return the computer, they do give you the option to buy it, but you have to pay full price. And it says in the terms that they might offer you a discount on it. So at that point, you wouldn't really pay full price for it if it's 3 or 4 months old, because it's too expensive anyway to begin with. So that's the only thing I can think of. The other thing I can think of is if you are also young, you got a new job, you got a new car, everything's, all lined up for you financially, and you'll be able to buy a new PC in maybe 6 months, but you don't have the money yet. You could rent this PC for 6 months until you have enough money to buy your own PC and then send it back. But these are like perfect scenarios. This is like a Hallmark movie. Nobody does that. Nobody's that responsible that they're going to only use it for 2 months and send it back, or only use it for 4 months and send it back. Most people will just keep paying the fee for it, and until they just can't anymore. And then they send it back, or they go to collections, or whatever. By then the computer's old. And my other question about this is I don't understand why they want it back. For what reason? If you use this computer for a year, so let's say you paid $59 a month for a year. So that's what, like $700? You already paid for the computer, basically. And then you say, you know what? I'm done with this. I want to send it back. Why do they want it back? What are they going to do with it? It's old and dusty. They can't sell it to somebody else. That just confuses me. It would be in their best interest to make you buy it. Say, look, we'll give you 25% off. Just keep it. Or we'll give you a discount. Just keep it. It seems like a hassle for them to take this computer back. It's all dusty. And then what do they do with it? Do they give it to their employees or something? I don't know. It's kind of weird. As far as the scam portion, not sure. It's kind of more, I know like people like to use the word scam. It's not a scam necessarily. It's kind of a scam. It's very carefully worded language that doesn't make sense. And of course they have more lawyers than you do usually. So here's the agreement. Pretty simple. So you can accept the agreement. Subscription continues into perpetuity until terminated. So forever. Rental device returns. If you return the device, blah, blah, blah. The first thing that they were talking about is that if you return the computer, that they now own any information that's on that computer, which is very strange. So is there a guy that goes through your computer and tries to download all your stuff? I don't know. I mean, do they take your Steam account? I don't know what that means. This is very strange wording. There is a thing here, where I can find it. I don't think it was mentioned in the Steve video, but there is an agreement in here that says you agree to carry insurance on the device. Let's see where I found it. See here, if the rental device is stolen, subscriber is responsible for making a police report. So you have to have renter's insurance or some kind of home insurance. And then there's the payment. They authorize to pay. After 60 days, if you don't pay, you go to collections. They're going to charge you 5% of the balance. If your checking account bounces, there's a $50 reversal fee. You're not entitled to any refunds. This is not a rent to own. If the subscriber accrues any unpaid balance more than 15 days, subscriber shall not be entitled to prorated refund. Oh, here it is, insurance. For each rental device, subscribers must purchase insurance to the maximum extent. That is something that I guarantee you nobody saw. So you have to have insurance to borrow it. Why can't they put that in the price? I don't know. But that makes sense. I mean, it's not yours, so you have to cover the cost of it if it's stolen or there's a fire or something. Warranty. That's all the stuff that they went over in the other video. I mean, it's... The thing that I couldn't figure out is who pays for it to ship it back. And it says that they pay for it, but I don't know. That sounds maybe not true, because what if you only used it for a month? Are they really going to pay for the shipping back? Lifetime warranty, 24/7 support, guaranteed upgrades every 2 years. So it's like an iPhone, basically. You know, you never really own your iPhone, right? You're always paying monthly for it. Flexibility to upgrade. Huh. I wonder if you bought this one, if you could change it to this one later. It says upgrade. That part's not very clear. See, who are these people? Where's Kendall and Timothy and Andrew and Michael and Michelle? Where are they? Nobody's ever said anything that they bought these. So I don't know. But the main complaint that people had was that the pricing keeps going up and up and up and up and up. That kind of sucks, but my rent keeps going up and my cable bill keeps going up and my phone service plan keeps going up. I mean, everything keeps going up. It's a month-to-month agreement. I don't think people understand that. If you live in an apartment and you don't have a lease, they can raise your rent whenever they want within the law. So here in California, you can only raise the rent by 10%. So I have a 1-year lease, so they can't raise the rent for a year. And then after a year, they raise it by 10%. And then check this out. They couldn't raise the rent anymore, right? So then they started charging for water. And then they started charging for trash. So is that a scam? It's perfectly legal. They can do it. If you don't have a lease agreement, that they can charge you any way they want. The thing about that is, I don't say that raising the price is necessarily a scam. I just think it's dumb, stupid. What they should do is make the price go down every 6 months. Imagine if this 59 went down every 5 months to a floor like $30. So if you did $59 a month, you make your payments on time for 6 months. Now it's $54 a month for the next 6 months. Then it's $49 a month for the next 6 months. And then it's $44 for the next 6 months. And then the floor, let's say the floor is like $39 a month. Now, would you pay $39 a month for this PC? Probably. Not you, but a person. They just pay $39 a month. It's like Netflix. It's like Prime Video. It's like Amazon Prime. You just pay $39 a month forever. Who cares? That's $1.25 a day or whatever it is. They would make so much money and nobody would get pissed off if the price went down. But instead they said, let's make the price go up. That's greed. That's pure greed. I've never seen where you purposely make the price go up. Like when you buy a car, the payment's the same all the time. It doesn't go higher. The interest rate is high, but the payment never goes up. Like I would imagine you're buying a car and I say, okay, it's going to be $189 a month, but a year from now it's going to be $249 a month. Nobody would ever agree to that. But people don't read the fine print, so yeah, I mean that's my opinion. I can see somebody maybe getting use out of this, but I think at that point, why can't you just finance it? If you don't have the money, just finance it and pay it off. I don't know why you would rent a computer unless your credit's so bad that you can't even qualify for a firm financing. And if your credit's that bad, are you really going to pay $59 a month for the rest of your life? I don't think so. You're going to stop paying for it. That's what people do. They do that with cars. They sit down with me and they sign the contract. 6 months later, they stop paying the bill because the transmission goes out or whatever. And they say, well, we're not going to pay you because it doesn't work anymore. So It's what happens in the car industry anyway, and they never buy the warranty. So, oh, the thing is, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that part already. The final part is they said that they can hinder the computer if you don't pay for it. So I'm not sure how they do that. I mean, do they really have access to your computer, which is not your computer, which is their computer that you're borrowing? Is there some weird software on the computer that makes it disabled? I don't know. Now in the in the car sales, if we had a person that couldn't qualify for a loan, we could loan them the money, but we had to put a GPS in the car, and we had to put in some cases, a device that would disable the car from starting if you didn't make your payment. But you might think that sounds super cringy, but the thing is, it was super clear. It was super spelled out. There was a whole different document just for that agreement. The privacy of somebody. There was a GPS form that says that we can see the car at any time where it is. There was another form for the starter disable that says if you don't pay payment, we can disable the starter. And guess what happens when you disable the starter? They make their payment, right? They didn't make the payment before that happened. They always make it after. So I don't know how they can do that on this computer. There's probably some software on there. I'm guessing that you could probably swap out the SSD and just use it without that on there. But that kind of defeats the purpose. So yeah, if you know anybody that actually rented one of these, I would really like to find that person and talk to them. If you want me to rent one and see what the process is like, we could do that too. But I have a feeling with all of the drama around this, they'll probably just take this down. So I'm sorry to all of these 695 reviews, people, that you can't buy it anymore. Hopefully not. And then we can stop talking about this because it's really dumb. Anyway, that's my opinion. What's yours?